And now a driving part here with the plug-in hybrids, and we have Matthias here next to us from the development. At this point here of the filming, at this moment we are not allowed to drive ourselves. He's doing that for us today. So can you tell us something about the new plug-in hybrid drivetrain? What makes it more special if you compare it to the previous one?
We are more electric than ever. So the vehicle starts in the electric drive program in default. And of course we have 90 kilometers now rest driving distance. Battery is 90% full and we have 90 kilometers remaining distance, and we think this is a distance which allows everyday driving on electricity alone. And it's not only the distance with a plug-in hybrid which is important, it's also the electric power. So with this vehicle we have got 95 kilowatts electric power, and this means you can do good driving even on a German autobahn. You have the full power up to 140 kph. So if I go on the gas now, you can see I've got 95 kilowatts just on electricity. I've got a good acceleration. And now, for example, interesting, I'm approaching the vehicle in front of me. The car tells me take off your foot, and if I do so, the vehicle starts recuperating without me attaching the foot on the brake.
So that's the D-Auto, that's the automatic recuperation. So it rolls when we have freeway, and recuperation when there's a vehicle in front of us then?
Yes, a vehicle in front of us, or other events like a roundabout or entering a city or speed limit. Even curves are in there. If we are faster than you could drive in that curve, it will reduce speed as well.
And then with a shifting pedal at the steering wheel, we could also go to the manual recuperation mode.
Exactly. I could go to D-, for example. So whenever I take the foot off the gas now, it will decelerate. I can demonstrate it. I'm accelerating, and it ignores the vehicle in front of me. It's just I take the foot off the gas and it's recuperating.
And when you press the throttle pedal all the way through, does the combustion engine always hop on then, even if you are in the pure electric mode?
Yes, I have a resistance in my gas pedal that's like a kick down switch, but it's in the middle of the pedal. And if I press this pedal down, the combustion engine will start. I can do now, and now the combustion engine is there. And now I've got up to 230 kilowatts. For example, if you look at the drive programs, we tidied this up, and now we've got 4 drive programs: battery hold, electric, hybrid, and sports. And I think that's easier to handle, and that's more electric than before. For example, we have also in the battery hold mode, we have the option to have this D-, which wasn't possible before.
And if you think about in general about the new C-Class, now leaving the plug-in beside, just in general about the vehicle, what is the main difference?
The main difference is of course the look, the interior. I think it's even more comfortable than the predecessor. Nice, precise steering. I think these are the main changes. I think overall just got better in all areas.
Would you go for this steering wheel or the AMG one?
I like both.
Yeah, very diplomatic answer as always. Okay, take the AMG one. Yeah. I can say it. I know he thinks so too, but he isn't allowed to say it.
On all steering wheels, you have the touch pads now, so you can also handle the whole MBUX from your steering wheel. So you can go to home, go back to the navigation system. So you have a lot of routes to handle the system.
What about petrol versus diesel? Will the plug-in hybrids be available for both systems?
Yes. We will start with the petrol engine, so we have the C300E to start, and sometime later we will also have the diesel, the C300DE. Also 4-cylinder diesel, similar range. We have 147 kilowatts in the diesel on the combustion engine, 150 kilowatts on the M254 petrol. And both are combined with the electric motor, which has up to 95 kilowatts on it. So the system power here is 230 kilowatts.
And is this also something for all markets? So are C-Class customers all over the world supposed to drive the plug-in hybrids now? Do you want to really push them?
We won't have them in all markets. For example, the US market is not a plug-in hybrid market. Also, some markets won't have the diesel, of course. But in Europe, we have. I think in Europe the plug-in hybrid is very attractive, both petrol and diesel. And we have it as a 4x2, 4x4. You can get the saloon, you can get the estate, so you get every combination.
Yeah, really interesting now also with the ambient lighting we can see as it's getting to be a little bit darker here now. And I have to say, like, my first ride-along driving impression is the whole car feels a little bit more sophisticated, more grown-up, and also a little bit more, let's say, a little calmer on the road.
It's also something which is like in the S-Class. It's very nice to see what the vehicle is doing. So I'm going to the cruise control now.
Yeah.
So it's following the car in front of me. It also shows me that it's tracking on this vehicle. I've got the lane keeping assistant, so I can also take my fingers off. Of course, it wants to have the contact, but
it's a capacitive steering wheel?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will get a warning after 15 seconds and I just need to touch it and it's okay.
What I always wanted to know is with the plug-in hybrid models, so people are really concerned about that when you suddenly start the engine, you know, I mean, doesn't it do so much stress on the engine that it affects the long-term durability, or do we have to implement certain things inside the engine to protect it even further, or does it even have like kind of a preheating process or something?
It's a good question, and we've looked a lot into that. The first good news is we do not start the engine with a starter. We use the big electric motor and the wet clutch in the gearbox, the so-called K0, which starts the engine. So this engine starts is like a gear shift. It can be done thousands of times. That's not problem at all. We test this, and you don't wear out a starter or something. And the second advantage is the engine doesn't like cold starts. It doesn't like idling at cold temperatures. But what we do here is if we run it under load, and that's good for the engine to warm up quickly. So imagine you go, you do short distance trips every day, you get a cold start every morning. With the plug-in hybrid, you just get one cold start somewhere on a long distance trip, and then the engine heats up quite quickly. And on the other side, for example, if you go down a long mountain and the engine is off, the engine doesn't cool because we shut it off, and if you keep the engine running, it would cool down even more. So from a thermal perspective, we have a lot of good options with the plug-in hybrid to handle that. I can show you on the other screen here. I go to the energy flow and show you the boost. For example, if I shut on the engine, you can see it's coming now and you see boost. Did you see the boost for a very short period of time? The boost helps the engine. We keep the engine in a good operating point, and the electric motor supports with boost, so we even avoid high load in the initial starting situation.
So would you say from an engineering perspective that the plug-in hybrid inbuilt combustion engine is actually taking, speed camera,
yes,
is actually then more durable long-term than the non-plug-in hybrid?
Yes, I would say, because you avoid short distance trips, cold starts. If you run it in a good operating point. I think if you have a mix out of electric driving, combustion engine driving, you will never have any problem with the combustion engine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting conclusion for today. I hope that helps, because you have asked us this question for a lot of times. Now look at the engineering perspective, and thank you so much for the ride for today.